Welcome back, everybody. Whew. Listen, I'm going to ask the question, and you can tell me yes or no in the comments or the feeds, but are you living in the moment? And that's one of the things that, coming back from Dominican Republic, it's something that we talked about, that we engaged in. We learned about each other. And, as I did a live stream just over a week and a half ago, and it was what's with the stash. Now, obviously, I still got this stash going. I definitely am growing it out through November. I'm not going to cut it, and really going to have some fun with this. But I did this what's with the stash because it was all about men's mental fitness. I know men's mental health month is June. We focus on suicide prevention, prostate cancer, a lot of things that males don't want to talk about any time of the year. Let's be real there, right? This is something that any time of the year nobody wants to be a part of, right? Prostate cancer. They want to push it under the rug. They want to say I'm strong, so we don't need to talk about things. We don't need to be vulnerable. We don't need to talk about our feelings because that's weak. I totally disagree. Now, like I said, in the last episode, I gave a huge shout out to Wendy McManus, and I took her mental fitness boot camp almost 2 years ago, and uh, I can't say that it wasn't like, oh no, I didn't need the help. It was actually interesting because I realized how much I needed to understand what was going on. And we all hear mental fitness today. We all do. Everybody hears it. Everybody's talking about it. There's mental fitness breaks. And what made me want to talk about this more is this trip I go on every year with Blue, which is, Blue Missions. It's building love, uniting everyone. It really brings full circle of how fortunate that we are in the United States, right? Just fortunate enough to be born here, fortunate enough to be able to have clean running water, fortunate to be around the loved ones and being able to whether travel state lines. Like, these are all things that we all take for granted for. So as I joined Blue Missions a couple of years ago, which is this trek that we're on. We go on the trek to Pico Duarte, and we hike the tallest mountain in the Caribbean. And it's a mental fitness break for sure. You're unplugging. You're not just going on vacation, right? And that's what I tell people. Like, people go on vacation all the time, and they come back from vacation and they say, "Oh, I need a vacation from my vacation." Right when I got back, and I love that because, a friend of mine told me one time, vacation is not vacation when you bring your kids with you, right? It's a workation, right? Because now you're constantly managing other things and you're doing other things, and that's what's so funny about it. So again, as we're wrapping up, men's mental fitness awareness, right? Suicide prevention, prostate cancer, all the things that again males don't want to talk about. As we're closing this month out, it's legitimately not just closing it, but reflecting and how to move forward. That's one thing that I've had to understand in myself is, how do we not just say we're going to do a New Year's resolution on January 1st, and we are going to not bite our nails anymore, right? And or we make all these unrealistic hit the desk pretty hard there. We make these unrealistic goals that we set ourselves up for failure. So, as I came back, from this trip, I said to myself, I was like, listen, how do I start my January 1 today, right? And that's what it was about, is how do I do something different to be able to bring home the value of releasing any tension or obstacles or angry feelings or anything like that. How do I come back from that and start over, right? Like, how do we come back and legitimately say, I need to be a better version of myself? And for males, it's very hard to do that. It's been hard for me. If you know me, I definitely wear my heart on my sleeve with my tattoos. I am very emotional. I talk to people. I tell them my story. I don't hide anything. I really do not. Like, if you know me, trust me. Like, I was just in the DR, and these 36 people that I did not know. Yeah, listen, I was cold plunging down to my boxers in the river in the Dominican Republic. Like, it comes to a point where I'm like, hey, this is me, right? And I'm not saying this is me and you have to deal with it. What I'm saying is I've got to a point that I've understood, my mental capacity, my family's, where I need to be. And, even Wendy McManus said, I'm bringing up Wendy again, on her LinkedIn page today. She had a good comment, and I'm going to pull it up. She said, well, give me a second. I'm pulling it up. Give me a second, everyone. This was good, Wendy. Leadership starts from the inside out. Your emotional regulation, your mood, your energy, and your intentions set the tone for everything you do, and they are contagious to others around you. I see so many people who are busy with the doing of leadership, ignoring the being of leadership. So start from the inside and focus first on your being. That's powerful. It truly is powerful to know that you do have to focus on, obviously, not having to do it or having to, right? Know that the being, you get to be this leader, and know that you get to do these things. One of the things we always say is, I have to go to work. I have to take the kids to school. I have to talk to my wife. I have to do this. See, you don't have to do anything. You get to choose. And that's one thing that we get to do. We get to have a choice. And so many times that as I visit other countries, some of these people don't have that choice that we have. They don't get to get in their car and drive their children to school. They don't get to wake up at 2:30 a.m. and get an ice cold glass of water. They don't get to do that. We're very fortunate that we get to do a lot of things, and that leadership is being, right? Being present in the moment. That was one thing that on this journey with Blue this time around, we really focused on being in the moment, right? We focused on being present. I'm going to give a shout out to Kim Redden. I took the boot camp from Wendy also, Patrick, and agree 100%. It was valuable. There's no better time to invest in yourself than now. It's like planting a tree. Everybody says, like, when do you plant a tree? Now, right? And be fortunate enough that in 25 years from now, that you'll see the product of what you planted. Just like in ag, just like in our daily produce lives, is let's see when the seeds go in, what fruit are we going to bear? This is something new for me as well. I've always been focused on, being a better version of myself, but this last few months have been a crazy ride for me. And I said that on the last call, that if you know me, you know some of the things that I've been going through. And I definitely keep a smile on my face. I definitely am not just keeping up with appearance, but I'm making sure that I'm in the right place And to many of you, you might not know. I mean, that means therapy, right? Weekly, bi-weekly. That means having multiple vulnerable conversations with, my spouse, my children, right? And it even includes of having to talk to myself and be a better version of myself. So as we look at mental fitness during this month, I say it's not even about the month of Movember, right? We as males, we say, all right, it's Movember. We're not going to shave. Some people just do it just so they don't have to shave for work. I know people that literally go, oh, this is the 1 month where I don't have to shave. And they take advantage of it, right? But I think that that's where we get to have this advantage. We get to do the things that we want to do, right? And Movember is really changing the face of men's health, right? That's kind of what it is about, right? Is we're going to grow a mustache out. We're going to focus on our fathers, our partners, our brothers, our friends who are facing health crises. And every day it's there. Yet rarely do any males want to talk about it. And I'm talking to you right now. Like if I could look as deeply into your eyes as I can and truly tell you that you're valued. We love you. And regardless of what's happening in your life, any day above ground is a good day. And we need you. We need support, just like we need support from everybody. And I say, and I've read this many times, we can't stay silent. Listen, we're not these big, hard beasts all the time. And we're not as strong as everybody thinks. And I know there's some males right now listening. They're going, Patrick's lost his mind, everyone. He's lost it. But I haven't. Because if you're married, if you have a spouse, if you have a partner, you can't say that this doesn't come up or vulnerability doesn't come up or accessing your emotions doesn't come up or getting out of the repetitive circle that your parents might have put you in and you're striving and thriving every single day to get out. I've been there, right? And so I think it's important for us, all of us to stand up, right? And mental health and suicide prevention is a big one. Prostate cancer, testicular cancer. No one wants to talk about this stuff. People think that if you talk about suicide or you have cancer, it's weak. You know how strong your body has to be to talk about these things in person? Do you know the mental capacity that you have to be able to say, hey, I actually need some help? Do you know how strong you must be to do that? So really, and this is just my opinion, like you become weak when you don't talk, when you don't share the emotions. And mental health and suicide prevention, prostate cancer and testicular cancer, we're all talking about them and we're going to, right? And that's where I think that as men, we can coexist and live happier, healthier, and longer lives. Because, on the last live stream, I believe it was John Pandle. Yeah, that's right, John. I had to call you out on this one. Is that, John Pandle said, males tend to go to drinking, addictive behaviors, and it's true, right? And I'm not saying that I haven't been there before. I quit drinking 2 years ago, and over 2 years ago, right? And that was something to where it improved my mental fitness. It improved my game. It improved my clarity. It improved so much. And then as my family's getting older, right? I'm just not getting older, but my family is. Like, as I grow another year, so does my family. Another notch is taken. And it's so interesting to watch my 12-year-old son, he'll say things, he'll do things. And I say to myself, I'm like, that's me. And my wife's always like, well, yeah, he's been watching you for the last 12 years. You are a role model. So when your kid ends up telling you blah, 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 or F this, right? Like, no, that's coming from you, right? They're little sponges. Or the other day when I tripped and said, holy SHIT, and my 2-year-old said the same thing right after me. Obviously, that's a laugh for me sometimes, but it really recognizes like that the children are watching. And again, Wendy saying that this morning about her leadership role. I had a talk with one of my leaders the other day, and I said, you know, your mentality when you came in really brought the whole team down. And I said, and you got to think to yourself, man, that you are the leader of this group, and if you come in with those emotions, you're going to rub all of these emotions on everybody else. You're going to. And after the conversation, obviously, you know, listened, reflected, talked. But after that conversation, the next day I get a phone call from this exact same person. And they said, man, I really thought about what you said. And you're right. Like if I come into work and I'm pissed and I start yelling, it's going to set the mood for my people, for my employees. And that's tough. Like, right. That's one thing that we really have to watch out for. So as I said, as we look towards this and talk about mental fitness as males, you got to think to yourself, and I said this earlier on a call, I said, the 5-foot lady who is my wife, who is 5 foot, like pretty much even, she tells me all the time, yeah, if I have to get something off the top shelf of a grocery store, I have to ask somebody, right? Hey, excuse me, can you grab that off the top shelf? That takes a little bit of courage of having that person ask you for something, right? And I think there's no difference in asking for help in your mental capacity versus just asking for help in a physical capacity. Can you help me move this 50-pound bag? Well, yeah, I don't want you to hurt your back. Thank you. Can you help me move this tractor? Can you guide me backwards? Can you help me back this boat in? Sure. How can I help? How can I be of service, right? And then as soon as it comes to anything within mental fitness, anything with talking about feelings, right? What do we get? I'm good. I'm okay. There's nothing wrong. We're good. Just we'll talk about it later. I say this because these are a lot of things I said. What about these ones when you get the I'm sorry that you feel that way. I don't feel that way. So that does suck to be you because you know what I would do is I would just not do that. What? What do you mean? That's confusing. What do you mean? Did I confuse you? Because that's what most males will say. Someone, no matter if it's a female or a male, someone that comes to them and tells your feelings, we automatically think you're complaining. And like I said, because I've been at that point before where you think it's a we complaint. Listen, I talk to so many males in this produce and supply chain industry and females, and we all talk about this. And that's why I thought it was important to do another live stream, because I had a lot of you reach out and say that you needed to hear this. And listen, Movember, like I said, we call it the month formerly known as November, right? It's when brave and selfless men around the world grow a mustache and women step up to support them. We'll raise awareness, maybe some funds, and specifically focusing on like prostate cancer, testicular cancer, mental health, and suicide prevention, right? And then obviously that moves into June every year with men's mental awareness month, and I think that's a big thing. I think a lot of people definitely discount the fact that they have emotions. The produce industry definitely requires you to have thick skin to be in this game and to really understand it. And I think at this point we need to come to a point where it's like, do I really need to be that way? Is this the way I want other people to see me? It's a good question, because I could tell you, if you're watching this right now and you knew me back in 2010, completely different person. All right. The pictures don't change, just the people inside of them do. And I think that's valuable, because there's a lot of pictures that I could look at to say, that's not me anymore. It's not. And I even have people probably to this day that reach out to some of my counterparts or my partners and say, I can't believe you do business with Patrick. Wow. And I say, man, I said, it's so crazy that they've neglected to get to know me. People maybe that only knew me for a couple of years, right? And I think that's where, as I've started to change, build community, becoming more of a servant leader, and really becoming a thriving part of this industry, then that's how I've been able to change and work with a lot of new and different people, because I'm willing to open up and change, right? I'm willing to start a relationship and not worry about the sales so much sometimes. And it's more or less looking on, not what can we do, uh, what do we get to do? What will we do, right? So that's where, to me, it's endless opportunity when you have this mindset. And people don't realize that, is they think, no, I can't do that. Listen, we're in sales, we're in marketing. We do not open up our feelings. We do not say these types of things. This is how you conduct yourself with a customer. Don't talk about this. Don't talk about this. I get it. I do. I really get it. So, we got to open up more. And I think that, this blue trip with Continental Fresh, with Albert Perez, it's an amazing journey and it's an amazing trek. And I got a video that we'd like to, that I'm going to share, that is just overall just an amazing video, that gives a little bit about Blue. So we'll pull this up real quick. Put me to the side and play the video. Yo me llamo Franklin Dotel y me dicen Franco. Yo buscaba, yo Have you ever thought about, like I said, hiking for clean water? Have you ever thought about that? It's crazy. And one thing, we want to, we definitely want to throw out there too, is that these treks, these opportunities are out there. And so one thing that we are doing as a group, as Blue Missions, is that we want to invite more people on the trek. Okay. And we want you to sign up today. And what we're going to do is, again, this is something from us, right? So as we discussed this 2024 trip with Blue, uh, it's going to be special because there was a lot of things that happened, that didn't allow us to climb the highest mountain in the Caribbean this year due to a tropical storm. And we said to ourselves, like, how do we bring back the community and really hit home? And the trip was amazing. We still got to be in the towns and we still got to see the sources of the water. But but it hit home a little differently. And we said to ourselves, let's do something for the next year. So the link I just put up, and I'll put this in the LinkedIn message as well, but we are going to give $400 off, a discount for anybody who goes ahead and signs up for the November trek of next year. Okay. So that's a $400 discount for next year. And normally it's about $1,750 plus planes. But if you go ahead, log on to the website and sign up now before December 31st, you're going to get the discount. And not only are you going to get a discount, we are going to fundraise to put you in a raffle to where your whole trip could be paid for. So that's even better. So we're going to get creative to help you and bring you down to the Dominican Republic. Whether you're a male, whether you're a female, right? We're going to bring it full circle for you. And we want you to be involved in this. We want you to see that where, food grows, where water flows, see how the towns grow their crops, see how the impact for water is so amazing, because we don't realize day after day of what we need to do to gain, fresh water, and the impact, right, that is there for fresh water, right? So that's just something that is drastically important. And so we look at like the impact of fresh water, and we're going to share another video on fresh water and why it's important, right? Voy a contarle la historia de cómo nosotros podemos conseguir el agua del río. Tenemos que cargarla a caballo, muchas veces tenemos que cargarla al hombro. Yeah, we trekked through some of this. We saw the source. We witnessed this when we were in country. Me siento feliz porque ya. That's pretty powerful. So this is a trip. Again, some of you might be thinking like, wow, this is like, this is not sponsored, everyone. This is something that is, truly has been a calling to me. And, I just got off the phone with Danny Rodriguez, the owner of Blue. And I said, how do I become more a part of this? How do I give back without just giving money, right? I want to be more involved. I want to be with the people. I want to generate more awareness towards water. Being in California most of my life, it's like you were fighting, for water, right? Fighting for water rights. And to go to these trips and to spend the night in the wilderness. And I mean, we spent the night at a bar too. I'm just, listen, you have to ask me personally about that. And if you want to know about Little Citrus, I mean, that's me, a Little Cit coming in for the 99 and the 2000, baby. But it creates a bond. It creates a lot more than what you think. And Blue means building love, uniting everyone, right? And people might say, well, I don't want to do that. And I'm totally okay with that because there's enough of you out there that want to build love and unite everyone. And I think that's what Danny Rodriguez's goal is. Albert Perez, building love and uniting everyone is a goal. And that is what I have to say as we move into 2024. This might be gone here soon. Look at this thing. For all of you out there that's giving some comments on my stash, like, look, no joke at this point. Like, I can make it go all the way up to my eyes. And I didn't do it today because I wanted to show you how crazy long it's got. I can mess with it. But building love and, uniting everyone is my New Year's resolution. And that New Year's resolution isn't going to start January 1st. It's going to start today. So that's what I want to leave you with as we get to about 30 minutes. I don't want to take any more time out of your day. I want to tell everybody to think about how to think about things differently. And if you've got a New Year's resolution of stop eating your nails, biting your nails, or I'm going to wear slides instead of flip-flops. Let's put a resolution in to build love and unite everyone. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. And if we can do that, we can leave the world in a little bit of a better place than how we found it. And we can be a much better version of ourselves. So again, all the females out there, thank you so much for all the love and support that you give us males, because without you or without our partners, a lot of those partners and females are the rock to our foundation, or the foundation to any of our success. And I say that about my wife all the time, is that she is 100% the grounded rock and the foundation in our family. She's the leader of our family. She's the leader of the household. And it's sometimes I used to say, like, it's your world. I'm just living in it. No, it's our world, and let's create it. So everyone, please, let's build love